said in my last video down here at the chicken run that eventually, or at least I think I said that I was going to run a trench down and run PVC wire. I also want to get power down to this greenhouse before the winter, because I'm probably going to hook up some sort of a little heater in here for the chickens. And there's like lights in there. You can see the previous owner hooked up a swamp cooler. So I want to get power run down here. Anyways, today's project was starting this trench. So you can see this trench I've got run up to my house. I was using just by hand, that's why it's not very straight. I just had pickaxe, that shovel over there on the dirt. Just been working at it. It's not deep enough yet, but it's the first run. I'm probably gonna have to do it again. But hopefully either this weekend or next weekend, I can get some conduit run down and some PVC pipe, hook up some power and water to the chicken coop and power and water to the greenhouse. Give you a quick tour of the greenhouse. Again, I didn't build this. It was here on the property when I moved in. Here's the chickens. You can see this one right here? That's Peaches. She's a part of my original 7 that I got. And there's another one. Right there in front. That right there, that's DC, which stands for dark chocolate. She's another one. And they were actually, my original 7 were bantams. And from what I've heard, it's not recommended to keep bantams with full-size chickens. But when I got these new chickens, I got them, I think in August. And about the time that they were the same size as my full-grown bantam chickens, I moved them into that other coop that I did in my first video. I moved them all in together. I took them out of the brooder and moved them all together. And I have not seen any really pecking order going on. I haven't seen them being pecked at. I haven't seen them missing feathers. So I think that worked for me anyways. When they were about the same size, they moved in together and they seemed to be okay. This is one of the ones that wound up being a rooster. I got, a sexed set, but they're only so certain when they're that young. Actually, that one right behind the barrel is also a rooster. You can't see him. Not this white one, the multicolored one. I'll move around. And so, every morning I get to hear, well, not every morning. There's a lot of mornings I'm up too early and moving into town, but if I'm home, I get to hear my roosters cockle-doodle-doing. I have no idea what breed all these are. When I ordered them, I did Crackle Hatchery, and I did a hatchery's choice of brown eggers, and then I got 2 Easter eggers, which maybe those are the white ones. I really don't know enough to know. But so once these guys start laying, girls, I'll have a couple of Easter eggs, but mostly brown. Now the bantams I already had, Peaches, that one right there, she has never been a good layer. For whatever reason, she has never been a very good layer. DC, the other one I showed you, the other bantam hen I have, she always did pretty good. This year, so they are now a little over 2. This year she did not do as well. Spring came, she was laying really good. This spring I also had another one. She was called Red. But Red got out and then couldn't get to water, and so unfortunately we lost Red. But so really this year we've only had DC laying. She's actually right there behind the big one at the water. So only DC's been laying, and she did really well in the spring. She stopped for a while, and I don't know if it was just the heat. I live in the desert. It gets well over 100 degrees here in the summer. I don't know why she stopped laying, but she stopped laying. And then a couple of weeks ago, she started for about a week again, and we got some good eggs again, and then she's now stopped again. So I'm looking forward to these other chickens to start laying because I'd really enjoy the eggs. That being said, today is October 10th. The days are getting shorter. So unfortunately, I kind of timed it not too well to where they're now to the age where they should start laying any day. I've been looking forward to it, but also the days are getting shorter. And if you don't know, chickens stop laying when the days are short. They kind of take a break. They slow down in the winter time, and then they'll start again in the spring. So don't know how well we'll do for eggs, but we'll see once they start laying. Looking forward to it. That's their feed right there. I keep them with feed all the time. Some folks, feed in the morning or feed in the morning and evening. I just keep them with feed. I don't know. At the moment, I just do store-bought feed. I do a mixture of pellets and scratch grains. They seem to like it. And then every once in a while, I'll bring out some black soldier fly larvae, the worms. They really like those. You can see right here, there's a couple crumbs. I had some homemade bread that was starting to go bad, so I threw that out to the chickens today. And there's just a few little husks of the harder crumb left, but they sure enjoy when we have greens left over, or a couple of husks of bread or whatever. They're omnivores, and they're kind of like feathered pigs. They'll eat just about anything. Anyways, here's the greenhouse. Like I said, they hooked up a swamp cooler to it, and then they got a bed that goes around this outside. They put a sink in there. They got another bed over here that's kind of falling apart, and then a bed in the middle. You could see they were putting, their chicken eggs in here, which is great for gardening. It helps calcium. I've heard you should break them down more than what they were doing, but I'm also not that experienced either. And they must have been my type of folk. They just had the power run to an extension cord, and plug in an extension cord, and they got it jimmy rigged. That's my type of thing. So I got a little table there, and then they got this bed here, and they got water run in here. And I hooked up water the other day just with that same hose that's going through the chickens, but I got a leak right here. So I'll have to make a point to fix that. But that's my greenhouse. I'm thinking about starting some seeds. It's too late in the year for much other than brassicas. But I'm wondering if, since I have a greenhouse, if I couldn't get peppers or tomatoes to grow year round. I might not try that until next year, but I'm thinking about it. I would love to have that. I really want to do potatoes and corn. Those are two things that my family eat quite a bit. These couple of beds I just brought from my old house. I hadn't quite filled them up yet, so it was easy to move them. They moved with me. I actually used them as brooders when the chickens were little. So I put a top on top of them and put them up in my shop, which is behind there next to the house. And they did really well. I didn't lose any chickens this time around. First time I lost 3 the first day, and then I've lost a couple other ones. Like I said, I had 7. I'm down to just 2. But this time around, I don't know what I did differently. I was careful about heat. I was careful about them. I just took good care of them, and I didn't lose any this year. I don't know if I did anything different or if it just turned out different.
I think those 3 were too small.
Yeah, we don't know. That was Peyton. She's my little helper on the homestead. She's my daughter. She's 10. Haven't decided if I'm going to actually show myself or my family in these videos yet, but that's Peyton. I'll show you the dogs. That's Ramsey. He's a little Shih Tzu. And that's Zeus, playing King of the Mountain up there. He's half Husky, half German Shepherd. He looks more like a German than a Husky, but he's a good boy. He's my friend. And these are all the chickens. Don't have names for any but the first 2, because
And one.
there's
Midnight.
20 of them. Oh,
Midnight.
Peyton says we got one. She is black as night. She's not. I know there is a breed that is pure black, including their skin and their feet and their eyes. She's not that black, but her feathers are extremely black. So Peyton calls her Midnight.
I also call the male.
This one?
The male rooster. That's striped. I call him Tiger.
Oh, you call him Tiger?
He's fierce.
This one? Actually, we haven't had any issues with our roosters so far. I don't know if it's because they're still reasonably young, but I know a lot of folks have issues with their roosters getting after them. We have not had issues. Honestly, our first set of chickens, we spent a lot of time with them. This second set, because there's just more of them, and we were just getting started out here at our house, other than just making sure they constantly had food and water and were healthy, we didn't spend a lot of time. And they're not, like DC, when I walk in, she runs up to me. Peaches has always been shy, so she doesn't run up to me. But the first set of chickens were used to humans. They saw us coming. They got excited. This set, because we just didn't spend as much time with them, they don't get as excited. But I'm trying to curb that by giving them treats. Put this roosting bar in last night because they didn't have a roosting bar. So we put that roosting bar in. We also put in back here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it without me getting shocked. Back there, I put in a little security cam. TP-Link makes some security stuff called Tapo. It's not sponsored, obviously. I'm just getting started in this crap, but I've really enjoyed their stuff. I have multiple of their cameras around my house and door sensors and stuff. I live out in the country, so I'm not so worried about having a security system. And so I just have cobbled together my own stuff with their stuff. And maybe I'll do a video of that someday because I really enjoy their stuff. I know there's a lot of other systems out there, but I've really enjoyed their stuff. So anyways, put in that camera. It's outdoor rated. And then I put in, it's got a little solar panel sitting on top of, it's on top of the nesting box in the back. And I just double-sided that to the nesting box. And so far so good. This is actually a third party. This is not a official TP-Link Tapo solar panel. Ramsey, you're gonna get shocked. That's just a third party one. I have a different one though, and they work good. They keep the battery fully charged. Those batteries on those cameras, so that one's a mag cam, and they'll last probably, depending on how much activity, how much you watch them, they'll last weeks and weeks, and then you can just take them in and charge them. But with the little solar panel, then I don't even have to take them in and charge them. Anyways, my first little bit longer video, it's just boring, me talking, but a little bit of homestead update for this week. I'll work more on this trench. May or may not get it finished this weekend and get water and power run down here to this area. My water for this property actually comes in over here in the corner, but and I think maybe someday I'll try and tie in over here because technically this is my street here. My driveway is up behind my house over there, but technically this is my street, and so my water comes in right here behind that bowl. And someday I might tie in there and bring it here, especially if I do more gardens and stuff down here. Probably going to want more irrigation, but for the moment I'm just going to Jimmy rig it and make it work. We got some rain coming in here, which is much needed for our area. We're always a desert, but last few years the drought's been serious. So that's it. Signing out, and God bless y'all, and I hope you're as blessed as I am.